as quickly as possible. It's the almighty bust-up between a family and their landlord that's left the real estate agent and police scratching their heads. It all started when Nikki and Will's landlord decided to pitch a tent and move into the backyard. And what's followed has been anything but amicable.
What's your name, sir?
What's your name?
Steve Marshall. What's yours?
Ronald McDonald, mate.
Ronald McDonald. OK. Do these guys get a happy meal with you here?
Listen here, buddy. I've given you a warning. Move that friggin' car now. You are in big.
It's just been so traumatic and just so helpless, and just knowing nobody can help us is just the most frustrating thing.
This is just our video camera that's obviously recording and set up, and yeah, it's just for our safety. What else can we do?
I just feel like I need to man up and do something, but I can't. So it's just so hard.
It's crucial tenants have a good relationship with their landlord, right? And vice versa. But what happens when the landlord moves in, pitches a tent, and won't move out? Well, you're about to find out, and it's not pretty.
Just because we don't own a home doesn't mean we need to be treated like we're absolute garbage.
There she is, now she's going to film me in my own house. And here's, look, they use this sideway here, and now she's going to film me in my own house. It's disgusting, isn't it?
Our children are terrified. They keep asking, who are they? And we can't give them any answers.
Nikki and her hubby Will lost their jobs during COVID, so you can imagine their relief when Nikki found work at a hospital in Yamba on the New South Wales North Coast. They signed a lease at $560 a week for this rental to help them raise their 3 young kids.
We just thought life was just going so good.
They'd been happily living there for 2 months before Nikki received this shock text from her landlord on Christmas night.
The text message just said, "Dear Nikki and William, I am the owner of..." There was no names, no introduction, anything like that. And it just said, as of tonight, I will be occupying the rear yard. And I had to reread it a few times because I just couldn't quite wrap my head around what I was reading.
Yeah. Nikki and Will weren't home. Their neighbour Jess was.
I saw the ute go into the backyard and I thought, oh, that's a little bit strange that it's parked there.
Later, Nikki and Will came home to find their landlord, Pascal Hubert, and her partner had set up camp at the rear of the property.
We couldn't actually believe it until we saw it ourselves. Have a look at it.
The section is one title. It hasn't been subdivided. Although a partial existing fence separates Nikki and Will's home from the backyard, which can be accessed through this side gate, all that's out back is a storage shed. There's no running water, and more importantly, no toilet.
I noticed they've got a bucket. I think that they're doing their poos and their wees in the bucket. And yeah, it's disgusting. Like, I mean, I want to know where what do they do with this bucket, like their so-called septic? Where are they emptying it?
Anger grew.
It wasn't until at midnight when I heard there was an altercation. Yeah, between the two guys, that my husband put 2 and 2 together, and he was like, oh wow, it's the owners, they've turned up.
And sparks flew.
He just was very aggressive from the start. I'm the owner, I can access this property whenever I feel like. I can be here.
Get off our property right
now.
now.
Get off, buddy. I'll get off your property. I tell you what, buddy, you're really pushing your luck. You're really pushing your luck. Get the car out of the driveway. You that gate again, you touch that gate again. You touch that gate again, mate. You touch that gate again, you see what happens.
Even the kids' tramp got bounced from the back section. Gate reinforcements went up, and Nikki and Will made desperate calls for help.
It's completely bizarre to everybody we tell. The real estate don't know what to do, the police don't know what to do, and unfortunately we haven't been able to contact the council because of Christmas holidays, but so far today's day 11 of them living in the backyard.
So Nikki contacted A Current Affair. Hi Pascal, Steve Marshall from A Current Affair, how are you? I understand there's a bit of an issue with the backyard situation. You know, can you understand the tenants' point of view that they're upset, you know, having you in their backyard, living there?
It's not a backyard because it was not rented, it was a backyard.
Landlord Pascal Hubert is correct. The property's backyard is not included in the lease.
They said the rear yard was not included. When I questioned the real estate, she basically said the owners don't live here, they just wanted to access the shed to put storage, but they would obviously give us adequate notice.
Nikki and Will feel there was an expectation for them to maintain the entire property.
This panel here he's put up, this was our access to the backyard. So this panel here, this was not here when we moved in, and he's just put this up on the second day they were here.
And where's all this stuff from? The shed?
This was in the shed, yeah. He's just chucked all our stuff here, and we just sort of been in such a bad way that we don't know. We have, you know, obviously it's just a mess.
He being Pascal's husband.
Listen, you speak to my wife again like you spoke to her again the other day. How dare you speak to my wife like that?
All right, mate. How are you? Yeah, take a shot. Take a shot. What do you think about this, buddy? Are you squatting in the backyard?
Squatting?
Yeah, you guys squatting in the backyard.
You're kidding me, are you?
Don't do too many
We're
seconds.
not squatting in the backyard.
You're not squatting in the backyard.
No.
The police are telling us that the real estate should be physically removing these people, and the real estate are saying they can't do that. Like, what do they want us to do? Physically pick these people up and throw them off the property?
Nikki and Will rented the property from First National Yamba. The leasing agent says she's shocked at the backyard blue, and at no stage did the landlord tell her that she planned to stay there.
Regardless of them being able to access the back shed, I mean, they need to give us at least 7 days notice to at least come access the property, let alone camp in it. And I mean, they've just hit us up and told us Christmas night that as of tonight, right now, we've just set up camp in your backyard.
This week, Pascal's even had visitors over. Cars coming and going.
Yeah, that's our children's bedroom being woken up basically at all hours of the night.
It's not on, is it? You know?
New Year's Eve they actually came at about 2 o'clock in the morning.
One night, 6 people slept out back. Pascal, you're not doing a wee-wee next to the teepee, are you?
It's a massive hygiene issue. We've got 3 children and these people are basically using the backyard as a toilet.
What about the toilet situation? Are you okay there? I mean, have you been using the backyard as a toilet, Pascal?
When you go to the beach, where do you go to the toilet?
In the toilet, public toilets.
Okay. This is what I do.
We have camping facilities that cater for toilets.
Looks like Pascal and her man might be staying for some time.
We're actually here to close everything to be able to build a granny flat.
Are you going to build a granny flat?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Do you guys know that they're going to build a granny flat?
No, they don't know because it hasn't.
They don't need to know.
No, they don't need to know. They rent it.
No, the tenants have rights.
Yes, they do have rights, but we're not going to start building until they're there. Their tenancy will end in the end of April. At the end of April, we're not going to take a tenant anymore, and we're just going to start building.
They've given 4 different accounts of when they're actually leaving. I mean, we just don't know what to do.
How long are you going to stay here for?
What's it to you, really? What's your problem? You stay as long as you want. The title deeds are in our name.
Who knows what this bloke's name is? We doubt it really is Ronald McDonald. As for Pascal Hubert, well, she usually resides in Sydney at this swanky address, so we're not sure why she's roughing it in a teepee in a Yamba backyard.
What are you doing here? Why don't you have a toilet? Why don't you have a shower? Like, why are you living like you're basically homeless?
This part of the section here might be off limits, but the lease doesn't mention anything about this patch of grass here, which the landlord and others are using to access their makeshift accommodation. Can you show me where you think the backyard starts and
From here.
stops and starts?
From here.
Okay. And And down there. Yeah. And what about here, Pascal? What, you know?
Well, this is
It's a road.
It could be that the landlord is trespassing whenever they go across that driveway area because they're entering into a place that they've given someone else possession of.
Leo Patterson-Ross from the Tenants Union of New South Wales.
At the end of the day, while the lease says that the backyard isn't included, the landlord has to go down a driveway that the lease doesn't talk about. And what the lease also promises the tenant is reasonable peace, comfort and privacy in their home.
Nikki, people at home will be thinking, why not just stop paying rent?
Obviously, I'm completely tempted to do that. Everybody I've told of the situation said, you know, has your rent dropped? And I said, absolutely not. And they're absolutely gobsmacked how much we're paying. We're paying $5.60 a week. So I feel like we're in the right in this situation. And if I basically stop paying rent, it's not going to look good for us on our tenancy record.
Off for a surf, are we? You going to take the teepee?
Council, you need to do something. This is not acceptable. We have people camping in our backyard.
Come sort it out for us because this is disgusting.
And we put a number of questions to Clarence Valley Council, but it's yet